Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Agudath Israel Etz Ahayem Synagogue here in Montgomery, Alabama. I am Rabbi Scott Kramer. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to the last Shabbat of this new year, or this old year, of 2022. We are praying out of Siddur Lev Shalem, which is downloadable as a PDF file from our synagogue's website. We will begin tonight's service, page 5, with Shalom Aleichem. It's a tune that I don't use very often, a tune that I learned during my stay in Israel. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lai 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 Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bochem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lai 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 Bochem Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Machuni L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Machuni L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lai 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 Baruch Ni L'Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeichen Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeichen Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Lai 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 Tzeichen Shalom, Malachei Shalom, Malachei Yoni Melech, Malachei Amlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We continue with, on page 10 with, my mistake, page 11. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Nariya, nariya, l'tzur yishenu, nekadma fanav v'todah. Nariya, nariya, l'tzur yishenu, bizmirot nariya lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena l'Adonai. Nariya, nariya, l'tzur yishenu, nekadma fanav v'todah. Nariya, nariya, l'tzur yishenu, bizmirot nariya lo. We continue in English. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector filled with thanks. Let us greet God, raising our voice in song. Great is Adonai, our greater sovereign, and all other deities. God's hands formed the earth's deep. Mountain crests too are God's work. The sea is God's, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hands. Come then, let us bow and kneel. Let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands. If only you would listen today to God's voice and not become hard-hearted, like the people at the Meribah, like the time at Massah in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought. For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are people whose hearts have gone astray, they do not know my way. So in anger I swore they would not enter my rest. 40 shana kut bedor va'omaram to'eh levavhem ve'hem lo yad drachai asher nishpati v'api im yivon el menuchati. Page 13, Psalm 96. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruch shemo, basru meyom leyom yeshuato, sapru v'goyim kevodo, bechol ha'amim nifliotav, ki gadol Adonai, o mehulal miyod. No Rahu, I'll go Elohim, lai kiko Elohe, ha'amim helilim, v'adonai shamayim asa, adar lefanav, oz v'tiferet b'mikdasho, avul Adonai mishpachot amim, avul Adonai kavod vos, Avul Adonai ke'evod shemo, seu mincha, uvahu lechatzrod of layla, shtachavu Adonai, behadrat kodesh, chilu mipanav kol haaretz, imrun vagoyim, Adonai malach, Aftikum tevel balatimo, yadim amim b'meisharim, yismechu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, a'iram mayamu melo, yalo sadai, v'chol asher bo layla, aziranu kol hatzayar, lifnei Adonai kiva, kiva lishpot haaretz, yishpot tevel b'tzedek, v'yamin be'emunato, yalayla layla, yalayla layla, yalayla layla, yalayla layla, yalayla layla, page 15, Psalm 97. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice. Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about. Flashes of lightning illumine the land. The earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth. The heavens tell of God's righteousness, and all the nations see God's glory. Worshippers of idols be shamed for praising false gods. All that is deemed supreme bow before God. Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment. You, Adonai, are above all that is earthly, exalted over all that is worshipped as divine. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful. Light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Rejoice in Adonai, you righteous people, and thank God as you pronounce the divine holy name. Or zaru ala tzadik v'l'Yisrael simcha, simchu tzadikim b'Adonai. V'oduhu v'zecher kadesho. Page 17, Psalm 98. Amizmor shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, ki niflaot asa, Hoshia lo yemino, uzaro hakon shodia, Adonai Yeshuato, le'eno goyim gilat tzidkato, zachar chastav emunato, levei Yisrael, Ra'u Cholav Se'aret, Yeshuat Eloheinu, Horiu L'Adonai Kol Haaretz, Yitrum V'ranenu V'zameru, Zamru L'Adonai Bechinar V'kol Zimara, Mechatzot Rod V'kol Shofar, Horiu Lifnei HaMelech Adonai, Yiram Hayam U'Maloho, Tevel V'yoshveva, Neharot Yimchau Chaf, Yachad Arim Yiranenu, Lifnei Adonai Kiva, Lishpot Haaretz, Yishpot Tevel B'tzedek, Ve'yamim B'meisharim, Yalai Lalai Lalai Lalai, Yalai Lalai Lalai, Yalai Lalai Lalai Lalai, Yalai Lalai Lalai, Yalai Lalai, Yalai Lalai Lalai, Yalai Lalai Lalai, Page 19, Psalm 99. Adonai reigns, nations tremble, the one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake. Adonai is great in Zion above all nations. They shall acknowledge your name, saying, Great, all-inspiring, Holy One. A sovereign strength lies in the love of justice, and you forge the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly. Exalt Adonai, our God, bow down before God, the Holy One. Moses and Aaron among God's priests, and Samuel among those who called upon the divine name, called to you and you answered them. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai, our God. You were a forgiving God to them, even as you punished them for their transgressions. Exalt Adonai, our God, and bow down at God's holy mountain, for Adonai, our God, is holy. Romenu Adonai Elohim v'ishtachavu lahar kadosho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Page 21, Psalm 29. We rise if you are able. Mizmar leDavid, Havu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Havu l'Adonai kavod vos, Havu l'Adonai kavod shemo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai el hamayim, el kavod hirim Adonai omayim rabim, Kol Adonai ba'koach, Kol Adonai behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, Vayshaber Adonai et alzei halvanon, Vayarkidem kemo edgel, Lebanon v'Sirion kemo ben reimim, Kol Adonai chotzev lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachil midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai yecholel ayalot, Vayechesov uvet, Vayechesov yavo, Uvehechalo kulo omer kavod, Adonai lamabuya, Shavaye shev Adonai melech le'olam, Adonai oz le'amo yitain, Adonai yivarech et amho v'shalom. You may be seated, page 23. Lecha dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela, Lecha dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela, Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Ishmiyanu elam yuchad, Adonai echad u'shamo echad, L'shemo tiferet beliti lalecha, dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela, lekrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcham, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikedem nesucha, sov maaseh b'machshat chila lecha, dodi lekrat kala b'nei Shabbat nikabela, mikdash melech ir melucha, קומי צאי מתוך האפך, רב לך שבת בימך בכה, והוא יחמו עלייך אמלה לך, דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה, התנערי מעפר קומי, לבשי בגדי תפארתך עמי, היד בן ישי בית הלחמי, קרבו אל נפשי כי עלה לך, דודי לקראת כלה בני שבת נקבלה, התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורי קומי אורי, אורי אורי, שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. לא תבושי ולא תקומי, מה תשתוכחי ומה תמי בך יחצו. אני עמי ונבנתה עיר, אל תילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. והיו להם שיסה שעשייך, ורחקו כל מבלייך, יסיס עלייך אלוהייך, כי אם חסכתן על כלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. ימין ושמאל תפרוצי, ואת אדוני תריצי, היד איש בן פרצי ונשמחה ונגילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. We rise as we turn to the last stanza of Lecha Dodi, and we face towards the west to greet the Shabbat bride. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולם. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. You may be seated. We continue with Psalm 92, page 27. A psalm, the song of the day of Shabbat. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and sing to your name most high, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. Finger the lute, pluck the harp, let the sound of the lyre rise up. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. How wonderful are your works, Adonai, how subtle your designs. The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms only to be destroyed forever. But you, Adonai, are exalted for all time. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered. As a wild bull raises up its horn, you raised my head high and anointed it with fresh oil. As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear. The righteous flourish like the date palm, thrive like a cedar in Lebanon, planted in the house of Adonai. They flourish in our God's courtyards. In old age they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzadik tamar yifrach, ki ez balvanan yizke shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun beseva tishenim verananim yeyu lehagid ki yashar Adonai tzuri lo avloto bo. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you are enthroned, you are eternal. The rivers rise up, Adonai, the rivers raise up their roar, the rivers raise up their waves. Above the roar of the vast sea and the majestic breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands supreme in the heavens. In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. Shabbat Shalom. Welcome, everyone. On this last Shabbat of 2022, hope everyone is having a wonderful week and the beginning of a nice, beautiful Shabbat. This week's Torah portion climaxes the action of the last two portions. It began with Joseph's self-centered dreams that resulted in his brothers selling him into Egypt as a slave. Through a series of events, first down and then up, Joseph came into his own and rose from the depths of prison to become Pharaoh's second in command. In this position, Joseph was in the right place at the right time to save his family from a devastating 7-year famine. After the brotherly reconciliation, Jacob moved the entire clan to Egypt, 70 in number, to join Joseph and his 2 sons. In our portion, Vayigash, in Genesis 46:47, it says, Uvenei Yosef asher yulad lo, and Joseph's sons who were born to him, V'Mitzrayim, in Egypt, Nefesh Shnayim, were 2 in number. Kol Nefesh Leveit Yaakov, Haba'a Mitzrayim Shiv'im. Thus, the total of Jacob's household who came to Egypt was 70 persons, or 70 souls. Here, the Hebrew word for souls is written in the singular form, nefesh, as in nefesh shnayim, 2 souls, and nefesh shiv'im, so 70 souls. The plural form for souls, nefashot, would have made the English translation make more sense, but the divine author of the Torah was trying to make a point. With Esau, in contrast, Jacob's brother, his twin brother, where there were 6 people, the Torah refers to them as 6 souls, using the plural, nefashot. Rashi, a medieval French biblical commentator, asks, why this difference? Why use soul in a place where souls would make sense, when in another case, that is exactly what we find? Rashi says that the answer is that there are many times when Jews are required to form a quorum of some type. 10 for prayer quorum, 3 for a quorum for Birkat Hamazon, for the grace after meals, 3 rabbis for Beit Din, etc. Jews are held responsible for one another's actions, for as it says in the Talmud, Kol Yisrael Averim Zeh Bazeh. All of Israel are responsible for one another. The Torah thus wrote the word nefesh for all of Israel, our single soul, as it were. But this is not true for Esau, where no one is responsible for another, or is to blame if another sins. Each person is separate from each other. Therefore, there in the case of Esau, the Torah wrote nefashot. I find great comfort when Jews come together to worship, as opposed to praying by myself. And those who know me know that I get so much nachas, I get so much energy when a minion of Jews comes together to pray. But the opposite, when it comes to praying on my own, I find it actually very difficult. The community aspect of joining together to give thanks and to pour out our heart and soul to God is soothing and hopeful. All Israel was responsible for one another. When I was in rabbinical school in Los Angeles at Ziegler, I lived in Valley Village, North Hollywood, within walking distance to Agudath Ariel, where they had daily minyanim twice a day, morning and evening. The evening was actually combined with the afternoon called Mincha Mara. I had not lived in a community like this since I left Baltimore in 1978 and was overwhelmed by the Jewish opportunities. Whenever I think back on our stay in Valley Village, it is those minions that I used to attend, making friends with actors and janitors alike. I literally felt like we were all taking care of each other, if not physically, then spiritually. And thinking about places I've lived, when I lived in Salt Lake City, Kol Ami had three, besides Shabbat services, they had 3 minyanim every week, morning minyans, Sunday, Monday, and Thursday. And what I remember about those, I mean, I enjoyed the morning minyans as much as I enjoyed the Shabbat service. And the reason I liked especially the Monday and Thursday when I first got to Salt Lake, we used to go to breakfast. Everybody was at the minyan, went to breakfast after services. Wasn't in the shul, we actually went to a restaurant very near where we davened, and someone would always pick up the meal. It just rotated amongst all of us. And I enjoyed that community so much. When I moved to Montgomery, besides Shabbat service, we had Monday and Thursday minyans. Not counting the pandemic, which has kind of moved everything to a different scale, and a new normal has taken place. But when I first came to Montgomery, we had Monday and Thursday meetings, and we must have had 15 to 20 people at every morning minyan. And the nice thing about here is we have a catered breakfast that Jerome puts together every Monday and Thursday. And so after minyan, we'd all go into the sanctuary, or the social hall, and we'd have breakfast. Some places where Jews come together to pray, it doesn't feel warm like in the communities that I've attended in Valley Village, in Salt Lake, and Montgomery. Or there doesn't seem to be continuity or togetherness. Some of them are, again, they're places I've traveled to and prayed in. But these 3 communities are different. And I thank God every day that I was blessed to be and live as a Jew in each of these 3 communities. And with that in mind, as we are trying to negotiate the end of this pandemic, I know it's really difficult for people to even try and think about coming back in person. But I do. I invite each and every one of you that's within driving distance or walking distance of the shul to please come and make this place come alive with our Shabbat minions, with our daily minions on Monday and Thursday, and join us for breakfast. Before the pandemic, we used to have a nice Kiddush luncheon on Shabbat, and then we would study until mid-afternoon, and I welcome that again very shortly. With that, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. We'll now continue our service, page 39a. Please rise for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach, Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Baruch et Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will set the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky, who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzevaot is your name, living and ever-present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. Umahavir yom umevi laila, mavdio ben yom uvein laila, Adonai Tzevaot shemo. El chai v'kayom tamid imo, cholei l'olam v'ed, baruch atah Adonai, hamaviv aravim. Page 40. Ahavat olam et Yisrael amchavta, Torah u'mitzvot chukim ha'mishpatim otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu v'shavreinu v'kumeinu nesiach bechukecha v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובאו הם מנגד יומם ולילה, וירדך תשים ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. V'yahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. V'hayu hadvarim ha'oela Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom Al Vavecha V'shinanatam Levanecha V'dibarta Bam B'shitecha V'veitecha Uvlechtecha V'derech Uv'shachtecha V'kumecha Kshartam Leot Al Yedecha V'hayu L'tatafot B'necha Uchtabam Nam Zuzot Beitecha ובשעריך והים שמות תשמעו מצוותיו אשר אנוכי מצוותיכם. Markus Josef. ויאמר אדוני משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת להם יעשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורתם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בתיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תסגרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיותכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, emet. Page 43a. This is our enduring affirmation binding on us that Adonai is our God and there is none other, and we, Israel, are God's people. God is our sovereign, redeeming us from earthly rulers, delivering us from the hand of all tyrants, bringing judgment upon our oppressors, a just retribution upon our mortal enemies, performing wonders beyond understanding and marvels beyond all reckoning. God places us among the living, not allowing our steps to falter, and leads us past the false altars of our enemies, exalting us above all those who hate us. Adonai avenged us with miracles before Pharaoh offered signs and wonders in the land of Egypt. God brought Israel from its midst to lasting freedom and led them to the divided water of the Sea of Reeds. As their pursuers and enemies drowned in the depths, God's children beheld the power of the divine. They praised and acknowledged God's name. Page 44. ומלכותו ברצון קיבליה משה ומרים ובני ישראל לחנו שירה בשמחה רבה וימרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדור בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מלכותך ובניך בו כי ים לפני משה זה לי אנו ויאמרו Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed v'nehemar kifad Adonai et Yaakov u'galad yod chazak mimenu baruch et Adonai ka'al Yisrael. Page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai Elohim. ושמותינו ואלוהים ושלום יתה בעולם ופרוס ונשקת שלומך ברוך את אדוני הבוחר סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. We rise, page 46. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש שבת וינפש שבת וינפש ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם. We rise for the silent Amidah for Friday night, pages 47 through 52. we continue on page 56 as the ark is open for Aliyah. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'teit gdula liutzeh b'reshit shelo asanu k'goyei haratzot v'lo samanu k'mishmachot hadama shelo sam chalkeinu kahem v'gor aleinu kechol hamunam v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim v'fnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרא בשמיים ממעל ושכינת זו בגלבי מרומים הוא אלוהינו אין עוד אמת מלכנו אל זולתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום והשיבות אל לבבך כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד אלוקים. ככתוב בתורתך אדוני לא לעולם ועד ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. This week, we will observe yard sites for Ida Kishner, Minnie Siegel, Isaac Schwartz, Ben Sharker, Yechiel Mandelbaum, Jerry McManama Sr., Regina Mandel Miller, Oscar Schoenbaum, Abraham Wasserman, Maurice Red Bell, Sophie Ashri, Elias Rosen, Fanny Schulwolf, Pearl E. Toronto, Rose S. Horn, Jenny Saudinger, and Javi Freeland. Those observing yard site, the those who mourn, please join me, page 58, for the Kadishaton, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal Yitgadash Shemei Rabbah, V'yomad Yivrach Yurutei, V'yomlech Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon, V'chayei B'chol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agalav Zman Kariv Yimaru Amen, Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevorach Ve'lam Omel Maya, Yitbarach V'yishtabach V'yitba'ar V'yitchomam V'yitnaseh, V'yitadar V'yitaleh V'yitalal Shmei Kudisha B'richu, Leilam Min Kol Birchata V'shirata Tushbachata V'nechamata, Da'amiran V'yomah V'yimaru Amen, Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemayim V'chayim Aleinu V'yom Kol Yisrael V'yimaru Amen. O Seh Shalom Bimramah, Uya Seh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael V'imaru Amen. You may be seated. Thank you for joining me this evening for the last Shabbat of the year. I'm so excited to get 2022 over with. I think I was talking with Tina earlier today. I think we said the same thing about, thank goodness 2020 is over, 2021 is going to be much better. We're glad that 2021 was over and 2022 is going to be better. 3 years of this pandemic has really wrought damage to all of us. But it's also given us opportunity, and it's given us bright spots for how we stick together as a community. So even if it's remote. So I will be back tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. for the continuation of Shabbat services. Tomorrow evening we will gather on New Year's Eve at 7 p.m. for the Alabama Community Virtual Havdalah via Zoom. I invite you all to join us tomorrow evening, 7 p.m. before you go out and bring in the new year. Or stay in your homes and bring in the new year, as the case may be for a lot of us. In any event, we will go ahead and conclude our, next week, I completely forgot about this. Next week, we will not have Friday night services online. We will have Saturday morning service, but not Friday night. Instead, there is a Tat Shabbat that will begin at 5:30 p.m. That will not be online, only in person. Our student cantor, Carl Sayers, will be with us for the weekend. He will help out with the Tat Shabbat. The Tat Shabbat is really nice. You can come. You don't have to be a Tat to come. You can be an adult and come for a very entertaining service. And that will be followed by a dinner. And all you have to do is RSVP. There's no charge. So we'd love for you to come at 5:30 and join us for dinner at 6. Again, there will not be services, adult services or online services next Friday night. And in 2 weeks, make sure I always get the dates wrong. Okay, so I don't have the date. Anyway, the Saturday, a week from 2 weeks from tomorrow, we will have a baby naming for the Shinbaum family. Scotty and Shinbaum had adopted a beautiful baby boy in Salt Lake, and we will be doing a baby naming for him on that day, so we invite everyone to come in on that Saturday morning to join us in the celebration with the Shinbaum family. With that, we will go ahead and conclude our service, page 211. Adon olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'ed nasa v'chefso kol azai melech shemo nikra azai melech shemo nikra v'yacharei kichlot hakol v'ado yimloch nora v'hu haya v'hu oveh v'hu yiyeh b'tifara v'hu yiyeh b'tifara v'hu echad v'yein sheni l'am shelo le'achbira b'li reshit b'li tachlit v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra v'lo ha'oz v'ha'misra v'hu eli v'chagoli v'tzor chevli b'Etz Ahayem v'hu nisi umanos li minat kosi b'yom mekra minat kosi b'yom mekra v'yado afkid ruchi b'yei yishan v'yaira v'imruchi kiviyati Adonai li v'lo ira Adonai li v'lo ira Shabbat Shalom.